The air was thick with static, the hum of unseen energy coursing through the space between thoughts. I stood on the edge of consciousness, my body tethered to a reality that felt increasingly unfamiliar. A distant voice echoed, a whisper, layered in meaning, slipping through the cracks of my understanding. "Do you remember?" The words sent a shiver through me. I tried to answer, but my voice was lost, swallowed by the void. My surroundings wavered, shifting between moments I had lived and those I had yet to encounter. The boundaries of time and self blurred, leaving me suspended in uncertainty. Then, a flicker, a glimpse of something beyond the veil. A figure stood before me, neither friend nor foe, its form indistinct, shifting like a mirage. "You have forgotten," it said, its tone neither accusing nor forgiving. But the mind never truly lets go. It merely buries, hides. I reached out, but the figure dissolved into the swirling abyss. My vision swam, and suddenly, I was falling, pulled back into a world I could no longer trust. I awoke gasping, the sensation of falling still gripping my chest. The room around me was dim, the soft hum of machines whispering in the silence. My fingers dug into the sheets, grounding me as I tried to steady my breath. A light flickered on, a monitor at the edge of my vision, data scrolled across its surface, indecipherable yet familiar. My pulse quickened, this place. I knew it, or at least, I thought I did. Then came the voice again, but this time, it was different. More mechanical, more deliberate. "You are awake, good." I turned sharply, my eyes locking onto the source. A sleek, metallic form hovered near the far wall, its presence cold yet oddly reassuring. "Who, what are you?" My voice was hoarse, as if unused for too long a guide. It responded simply. "You have questions, I have answers, but first, you must remember." My mind reeled, pieces of something greater slipping just beyond my grasp. I clenched my fists, willing myself to hold on to the fragments before they vanished again. "Where am I?" I asked. The machine's lights pulsed, almost as if considering the question. Then, it answered, "At the beginning." The words sent a ripple through my thoughts, disturbing the fragile sense of reality I had been clinging to. The beginning? Of what? I swung my legs over the side of the bed, testing my strength. My limbs ached, as though I had been asleep for far too long. The machine, my so-called guidem, remained still, watching. "Explain," I demanded, my voice steadier now. "Your memories are fragmented, purposely obscured." "The process was not entirely successful," it replied. The third mind intervened. Something in my gut twisted at those words. The third mind, the concept felt familiar, yet distant, like a dream I had almost grasped before waking. "You speak as if I know what that means," I said. "You did," the machine corrected. "And you will again, if you are willing to see." A soft chime echoed through the room, and a section of the wall slid open. Beyond it, darkness stretched infinitely, broken only by the faint glimmer of distant stars. A void, waiting to be traversed. "Step forward," the guide instructed. "The path to truth begins with acceptance." I hesitated, my instincts screaming against the unknown, but something deeper, something buried beneath my lost memories, compelled me forward. I took a step and the world shifted. The moment my foot crossed the threshold, gravity twisted. My body felt weightless, yet I was falling, pulled into the void beyond the door. Colors bled into one another, shades of deep violet, electric blue, and searing white, forming patterns too intricate for my mind to grasp. A presence stirred, not the guide, not me, something else. "You seek the truth," a voice resonated, not in sound but in thought. "But are you prepared to bear its weight?" I couldn't respond. My body was no longer my own, stretched across an eternity I couldn't comprehend. Memories flickered, mages of a life I had once known but no longer recognized. A child reaching for the stars, a war fought in shadows, a promise whispered in the dark. Then, silence. My feet found solid ground, the world reassembled around me. I was no longer in the sterile room. No longer in the void. I stood in a city, towering spires clawing at the sky, neon reflections gliding over streets slick with rain. People moved around me, their faces blurred, as if they existed in a reality just out of sync with mine. "Where am I?" I whispered. The guide's voice returned, distant, almost fading. The space between. I took a hesitant step forward, the city shifting with each motion. The air hummed, not with electricity but with thought, as if the very space around me was alive, breathing. A figure stood at the end of the street, waiting. Unlike the others, this one was clear, sharp against the blur of the world. I knew them. Or at least, I had. "Welcome back," they said, their voice laced with something between relief and apprehension. "It took you long enough." I opened my mouth to speak, but before I could, the city trembled. The sky cracked open, revealing something vast, something watching. The third mind had found me.